Every other Sunday, for the better part of a day, this farm stands empty. Not the barn, the stock is in the barn, and the stock never goes anywhere. The house. Nobody in it, nothing watching it, from the middle of the morning until the middle of the afternoon, because the service is at a neighbor's place, and after the service there is the meal, and after the meal there is the visiting. Every family in this district keeps the same calendar. So does every man for 10 miles who cares to know it. There is no alarm on that house, no camera on the barn, no light that snaps on by itself when something crosses the yard. And the nearest telephone is in a shed at the end of the lane, shared between 3 families, which is a long walk if you are in a hurry, and a longer one if you are frightened. That is my house, and it has stood on that ground since my grandfather's time. In all those years, the thing that kept it was never a piece of hardware, and it was never the sheriff either. There was a time in my life when a man here would not have called him at all. Something else kept this place, and it kept it in the hours before anybody could have come. I have counted it out, and it comes to 15 things. Not one of them plugs into anything. 12 of them cost nothing. And one of them, the honest one, I would not hand to an English family at all, because it would cost you more than you think. Here is what I am promising you, and here is what I am not. I am not going to tell you to stop locking your door. That is foolish advice, and I will not give it. What I am going to do is take you around this place and name the 15 things, one at a time, and tell you what each one actually does. And about a third of the way through, I am going to stop and tell you the part nobody puts on a bus tour, which is that houses like this one do get broken into, that I know the day of the week it happens on, and that I know the 4 things they come for. 2 more things to keep you with me. There is one item in the middle of this list that most people get exactly backwards, and it has to do with a dog. And the 14th is not a trick at all. It is a belief, and I will show you what it costs us. My name is Gideon Riehl. I am 65 years old. I have lived every one of those years inside about 9 miles of where I am sitting in a church district of 30-odd families, and in all that time, I have never owned a key to anything but a house and a shop. I have watched a barn go up in a day, and I have watched a deacon walk this road with a hat in his hand, collecting for a family that had been cleaned out. So I am not speaking about how the Amish live in general. There are better than 2,500 church districts in this country, and they do not agree with each other about much. I am telling you about this farm, this lane, and these neighbors. Before we start the walk, the plain reason all this went away in your world, because if I let you believe a dramatic one, I have already lied to you. Nobody took it from you. It simply got easier to buy a lock than to know a neighbor. And once one house on a road bought the lock, the next one had no reason not to. A thing that took 20 years to build and a Saturday afternoon a month to keep up got replaced by a thing you can buy on a Tuesday. That is the whole of it. There is no money in teaching you the slow one, and there is a great deal of money in the fast one, and I would not make it any grander than that. So, 1, and it is the one you are expecting, and it is the least of the 15. We have locks. There is a lock on the front door of this house and a bolt on the shop door, and they are plain mechanical locks with a key in them, because what we will not have is the electric sort that talks to a telephone. I want that said at the top and said clearly. You will find people who will tell you that the Amish leave everything standing open, and it is not so, and it is less so every year, because a family that has been gone through puts a deadbolt on afterwards the same as anybody would. But I will tell you honestly what a lock is worth on this farm. It buys a man a few seconds and a broken pane of glass. In everything I have heard of in this county, a lock has never once been the thing that turns somebody around. It is the smallest item on my list, and I have put it first, so that nothing coming after it has to stand on a claim that is not true. 2, the small house on the end. We call it the Doughty House. My father lived in it until he died, and my mother after him, and it is a proper little dwelling. Its own door, its own stove, its own table, built onto the end of the main house, so that the old ones are 10 steps away and not 10 miles. We have no nursing homes. There is no place to send anybody, so nobody is sent. What that means, if you set the affection aside and look at it coldly, is that there are 3 generations living on this one lot, and the odds of every last one of them being off the property at the same moment are very small. A house with somebody in it is not the same object as a house with nobody in it. It is not a stronger version of the same object. It is a different object altogether, and everything else on this list is a smaller version of that one idea. 3, and it follows straight on. Somebody is home. That is not a saying. That is the only thing on this whole list that I can point to and show you actually working. A woman in a settlement not far from here stayed back from Sunday service. She had had an operation and she was not up to sitting 3 hours on a backless bench. 2 men walked into her house in the middle of the day, expecting what they had every reason to expect, which was an empty one. She hollered at them. They went straight back out the way they came in, and they did not take anything, and they did not lay a hand on her. No bolt did that, no dog did that. A person in the house did that, and she did it with her voice, from a chair she could barely get out of. Now I am going to stop the walk and tell you the part I owe you, because if I go straight on from that story, you will finish this video thinking these farms are never touched, and that is a lie by arrangement even if every sentence in it is true. They are touched. A professor named Donnermeyer went through 13 years of our own scribes' letters in the diary, the paper our communities write to each other in, and gathered up 240 crimes that were reported in them between 2010 and 2022. Burglary came out the most common thing on the list, not the rarest, the most common. And this past June, a man over in New York was charged on 35 counts for a run of break-ins at Amish houses in Chautauqua County, which you can go and read for yourself in about a minute. And I would rather you heard it from me than found it afterwards and decided I had been managing you. And here is the part that matters more than the fact of it. They do not come at night, and they do not come at random. A family down in Tennessee came home from a funeral and found 4 houses of their own family gone through. Drawers dumped out on the floor, mattresses pulled off the beds, the money taken. Church, funerals, weddings, a viewing. Those are the hours a whole district is guaranteed to be somewhere else, and those hours are public. As for what they carry off, there is no television here, no computer, no telephone in the house, and a hand-cranked ringer would not fetch $1 at any sale in America. So they come for the 4 things that turn into money, and it is the same 4 every time. The cash, because we do not carry cards and we do not write many checks. The deer rifle, the chainsaw, the air compressor. Which is the first thing I would say to an Englishman watching this. It is not your door that gets studied. It is your week. Somebody wants the 1 hour you are reliably gone, and your door is only the last inch of a problem that started 7 days earlier. 4, there is nothing in this house worth carrying out of it. I do not say that with any pride. It is simply the arrangement. No screen, no console, no laptop bag by the sofa, no jewelry to speak of, nothing with a serial number on it. And I ought to clear up why, because it gets misunderstood in a way that matters here. It is not that we think electricity is wicked. What we will not have is a wire running from somewhere else into this house, because whatever comes down, that wire brings the world with it, and we get no vote on what it brings. Batteries we use. There is solar on barns all over this county, and there are lights and turn signals on the buggies. It was never the current, it was the wire, and the wire is what would have brought the television. The ordinary burglary in your country is a fellow in a house for 8 minutes who wants small, light, expensive things he can sell by Thursday. 9/10 of what is in my front room is heavy, old, and worth exactly nothing to anybody who did not grow up with it. You cannot arrange your life around that overnight, and I am not asking you to. I am telling you it works because it does. 5, nothing about this place says money from the road. There is no car in the lane to tell you what year we are having. The front of the house is not lit up at night because there is nothing to light it with. There are no parcels sitting on the step for 2 days announcing that nobody has been home to bring them in, and there is no pile of boxes at the end of the week telling anybody what came. The windows give nothing either, which surprises people who expect us to have none at all. We have blinds, dark green pull-down blinds, and in Lancaster it is the same dark green on every house because the color of what hangs in a window is written into the ordnung along with everything else. That was never about hiding anything from a thief. It was that no house should look finer than the one beside it. The result is the same, all the same. You cannot read one of these houses from the road. A man driving past learns nothing from us except that somebody farms here. Your house, if you will forgive me, tells a stranger a great deal in about 4 seconds, and most of it is about how much there is inside. 6. The lane is long and it is open. It is better than 100 yards from the road to my porch, and there is not a thing growing along it taller than the fence. Anybody coming up, it is in plain view the whole way, and he knows he is, and he can be watched from the kitchen window while he is still deciding. Now I will be square with you. It cuts both ways, and the men who have chosen Amish places have said as much themselves. Out here in the open country, there is nobody about to see them turn in. The openness that shows me a stranger also hides him from everybody else. So it is not a wall, it is time. It is 30 seconds of warning, and 30 seconds is a great deal more than none. 7. This house is awake when yours is not. We are up before light and out in the barn before there is any gray in the sky, and the lamps are lit in the kitchen at an hour when a whole suburb is dead asleep. Anybody working out when a place is quiet is working from the ordinary rhythm. Dark means nobody moving. 6 in the morning means nobody moving. Our clock does not match that clock at either end. I am telling you how it is in this house. The hours vary from settlement to settlement, and I would not put a number on somebody else's morning. 8. The dogs, and this is the one most people have backwards. Ours are not guard dogs. Nobody here keeps a dog to bite a man. They are farm dogs, and they bark at the mailman, and they bark at my son-in-law, and they bark at a rabbit crossing the yard, and every one of those barks is worthless. And that is precisely why the whole thing works. A dog that only barks at trouble tells you nothing until trouble is in the yard. A dog that barks at everything means no one ever gets close to this house without the house being told. The bark is not a weapon. It is a doorbell that cannot be disconnected, and it costs a bowl of scraps. 9. The yard is never still in the daytime. There are children on it. There are hired hands in and out of the shop. There is stock to be moved and a garden to be worked, and somebody walking somewhere every few minutes from before breakfast until supper. Nobody is on watch. There is no such thing as a watch here. It is only that the place is used all day by people who have no set schedule of their own, and there is no window in that day when a man could count on 10 quiet minutes. 10. Every tool goes away every evening. The saw goes back on its hook, the compressor goes behind the shop door, the good hand tools go in the chest, and the chest gets shut. Now, I want to be honest about the reason, because the reason is not security. It is thrift. Things left out in the weather rust, and a rusted tool is a tool somebody has to pay for twice. But look back at the 4 things they come for, and you will see the accident in it. 3 of the 4 live in the shop, and they are behind a door every night without anybody ever having thought of it as a precaution. The habit was built for one purpose, and it happens to serve another. 11. We carry no insurance. None. Not on the house, not on the barn, not on the buggy in most cases. And I would ask you to sit with what that does to a person, because it changes how a thing is held in the hand. Nobody in this house has ever said the words, "It is covered." If the compressor walks off this yard, there is no company anywhere that owes me a compressor. So it gets minded and mended and put away. And the boys were raised knowing which of those things would be genuinely gone if they left it lying in the grass. Your insurance is a good thing, and I am not going to sneer at it. I am telling you what it quietly does. It makes carelessness affordable, and carelessness is most of what gets taken. 12. Every face and every rig on this road is known. Our district is 30-odd families, and all of them are within an hour by buggy, on purpose. When a district grows past that, it divides. I know the horses. I know the sound of my neighbor's wheels on the stones without getting up from the table, and I could tell you whose team went by an hour ago and roughly where they were headed. Nobody is watching this road. There is nobody appointed to it and no meeting about it. A stranger stands out here for one reason only, which is that everybody else does not. That is the whole mechanism, and it is the reason your street cannot do it. It is not that your neighbors are unwatchful. It is that there is no baseline for a stranger to stand out from. 13. The telephone is not in the house. It is in a wooden shed at the end of the lane, shared with 3 families, with a book in it to write your calls down in, and it has been that way since the 1950s. The reasoning is that a telephone in the kitchen rings whenever a stranger decides it ought to, and it interrupts the meal, and the meal is more important. So the world is kept where it belongs. But I said I would show you the cost of these things, and here is one of them, plainly. When something goes wrong in this house at 2 in the morning, there is nothing at hand. Nothing. A man named Whitmer wrote about us back in 1971, and he put it about as sharply as it can be put. The Amishman's religion, he said, forbids him both violence and the sheriff. For a long while, that was accurate at both ends. It is not anymore. The first half stands and always will. The second half we have let go of, and we call the police now, and I am glad of it. But for most of the years, this farm has been standing. Whatever kept it had to keep it in the hours before anybody could arrive, because nobody was coming. 14, and this is the one that is not a trick. There is a rifle in this house. It is for the deer in the fall and for the fox that gets into the hen house, and there is nothing unusual about that. Plenty of Amish men hunt, and long guns are ordinary here. What is not here is a handgun, and there is a reason for that, and the reason is that a handgun is not for a deer. It is for a man. We are not permitted that. Not for the barn, not for the door, not for our own children. When I say we are not permitted, I do not mean somebody would be cross with me. I mean the whole of what we believe rests on not doing it, and a man who did it would have to answer for it in front of every person he knows. I am not going to dress that up as a clever security arrangement, because it is not one. It is a conviction with a price on it, and the price is real, and there have been nights in this settlement when families paid it. If you take one thing from this list, do not take that one. It is not for sale, and it was never meant to be advice. 15. The circle. When a barn burns here, the same crowd that comes with the wagons puts a new one up in a single day. Hundreds of hands, 2 old men running the whole thing from the ground, and the roof on before supper. That is the part your world has seen photographs of. What it has not seen is the other night, the ordinary one, when a family has been gone through and there is no company to call. The deacon walks house to house and the money is collected, and by the end of that week, the family has what they lost. And the women send what is called a sunshine box, food in it and small things for the children, and notes, because the collection covers the compressor, and it does not cover a 9-year-old who will not sleep in her own room anymore. That is our claims department. It has no office. And I will tell you what that changes about the fear, because this is the part I did not expect to be true until I had lived it. What frightens a man about being robbed is mostly not the object. It is standing in the wreck of your own kitchen, understanding that you are on your own with it. Nobody here has ever had to stand in that alone. Not once, not in my lifetime. So here is the honest end of it. The lock was never the system on this farm. Being known was the system, and everything else on that list of 15 is only a small piece of the same thing. A house that is lived in, a lane you can be seen coming up, a dog that tells on everybody, a district small enough that a face either fits or it does not. That is why I have been careful all the way through not to sell it to you, because 13 of those 15 come from a way of living that took 4 generations to build, and that most of you would not want and could not have. I would be a liar and a poor neighbor to pretend otherwise. But one of the 15 is free, and you can begin it tonight, and it is the one everything else was built on. Learn the names, not the addresses. You have the addresses. The names of the 6 houses nearest yours, and one thing about each of them. Who is home in the daytime? Whose car is whose? Which one has the ladder? That is it. That is the whole assignment, and it is worth more than any camera you will ever screw to a wall, because a camera tells you afterwards and a neighbor tells you during. Start with the 2 on either side of you this week. Take something over. The second thing on my list was that a house with a person in it is a different object than a house without one. And 6 houses that know you're weak are 6 people who notice when your week stops looking like itself. Then, if you have got the stomach for it, look at what your own house says from the road. Stand at the end of your drive on a Tuesday evening and read it like a stranger would. And then look at your week, not your door, because your week is the thing that is actually being read. Now I would like something from you, and it will help the next fellow more than it helps me. Tell me in the comments how many of your neighbors you could name right now without walking outside. Just the number and the town or the county you are in. I want to see whether it runs by region, because I have a suspicion about it and no proof. I read them. I do not always get to answer, but I read them. And next time I want to talk about the cellar, because this is August, and half of you have a damp one and you are doing the exact thing that is causing it. Every summer, somebody opens the basement windows to air the place out and dry it up. And it is that open window that is putting the water on your walls. And I will show you the reason with a square of plastic and one day. Wherever you are tonight, I hope the 6 houses nearest you have somebody good in them. Mine do,